nature, things of that 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 nature, things of
that nature. Welcome everybody to Pod of That Nature post-game show here with Inside Arkansas. I'm John Nabors alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis as the Razorbacks in their season finale in the Battle Line rivalry game against Missouri once again lose 28-21 up in Columbia, and it's officially ball game. It's over. 6-6, 3-5 in SEC play is what your final regular season in. Fellas, I'm so glad we can meet once again on these circumstances and be able to hang out together and talk about another killer, awful, stupid loss that the Razorbacks suffered.
Yeah, that's another brutal one, man. I mean, it's crazy how this just continues to happen to this football program, and I'd like to say that I'm numb to it, but I'm upset right now. I was really hoping Arkansas would win this game, and honestly, you're just never going to win at Missouri now. It's never going to happen. I mean, you had a chance here where Missouri has two competent offensive players on their team, Luther Burden and Theo Weiss, and they have a quarterback in the snow who can't move his arm enough to throw the football. So they're eating their soup left-handed the whole game. Still couldn't beat them. Didn't matter. Still couldn't beat them because you couldn't get out of your own damn way. God, man, brutal. Here we go again.
Yeah, this wasn't a game that we went into saying, hey, this is a must-win game for Arkansas. They need this one. It was a game where you could kind of afford to lose because you know you're going to make a bowl game and you're apparently bringing your head coach back. But this is a game that I feel like a lot of the fan base needed to build any type of confidence going into the offseason, to feel like this program was headed in the right direction, to feel like they have something to build on. And it's just really hard to make that argument when you see it play out in such a predictable way. There's a lot of sports franchises, a lot of fan bases that feel like their team is cursed. And I feel like Arkansas is kind of like leading that charge. But when stuff like this, when we can all kind of predict how it's going to end, and I will say it played out a little bit differently down the stretch than I thought, especially when they took that lead 17-14. I thought that would be the stepping off point. Man, it's really tough. Again, like if you take this one loss by itself, maybe not the end of the world, but it's the fact that it's so familiar and they continue to pile up another one-score game where Arkansas just couldn't quite make as many plays down the stretch as the other team. They just so happened to make all of the crucial mistakes in the game. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. It's really tough to swallow, and I don't know how you can look forward and say, hey, let's just move on to the offseason. This program's heading in the right direction. They'll get it figured out in the offseason. Everything will be turned around.
Well, don't worry. They showed the graphic there that had Arkansas projected for the Liberty or Birmingham Bowl. So there's always something to look forward to, guys. Woohoo!
Man, I can't wait to not go to those crap games. Like, here's the thing. I agree with you, Curtis. I don't feel like Arkansas is ever going to win in Columbia, just because this was your opportunity. And also, like you brought up too, Andrew, the mistakes, man. This wasn't Missouri's just better, or they got better athletes, anything like that. You suck at doing the little things right. You had 10 penalties in this game, crucial penalties. You had 2 turnovers that led to 2 touchdowns, crucial, unacceptable type plays. And guys, I could be wrong. How many turnovers did Missouri have? 0. They had 0 turnovers. Now, they had 7 penalties too, but you just continue to find ways to lose when you've been gifted the type of circumstances that you would want. Like you said, Curtis, having a quarterback that can't throw, Luther Burden, their best player, being a non-factor in the game, like absolute non-factor. I think he got his first catch in the 4th quarter, wasn't even around. And you just had it all set up for you to where if you're going to win a game, here's your time. You've been as healthy. I know that there's always issues, but you're as healthy as you can be. And shout out to Anna Jackson. Hopefully everything's okay, because that was a scary moment, which I know we'll talk about. But this was set up for you, and you still couldn't get it done. And the worst part about it is now you're sitting at 6-6, you're sitting at 3-5, and you as a fan, you're just supposed to be happy with this. You're supposed to just take it like good little boys and girls, like you're supposed to, and be excited, because if you're not excited, you're a hater, and you hate your Hogs and you hate your program. Give me one reason why you should be excited right now. Give me one dadgum reason why you think this is going to be fixed. Give me one reason why you absolutely, truly believe that this is going in the right direction. When you go up to Columbia and you can't even beat this crappy Missouri team. Again, you can't beat them. Like, where are you supposed to go for your hope and your enthusiasms? Because they're gone. It doesn't exist. I should have known that this was going to go this way. I stupidly bet the Hogs because I was trying to win some money. Didn't matter. I did win the under. That's great. But guys, I'm just at a loss. I don't know what fans need to do. I don't know what fans need to feel. This is just you feel like you're in a purgatory. You're just stuck and you have nowhere out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's probably a combination of people being incredibly frustrated, and those who aren't frustrated are probably feeling very apathetic right now. And that's not a good place to be. I mean, what a weird deal. It's, it's like Sam Pittman's coming back. €100 check. It seems like he might be trying to get the hell out of here, but then he might not be able to. So there's that. You got Travis Williams popping up on hot boards all over the place all of a sudden, whether it's, UCF's head coaching job or Florida State's DC job. And he's like the one thing you got going for you. It's just, I mean, it's madness, man. I wish right now that I could be Sam Pittman just behind a tinted window where only my forehead was showing right now. That way I hadn't to be in front of this microphone, in front of this camera talking about this again, because it's just so depressing to have to be the broken record and have to do this over and over and over again. And just knowing that this is always going to be the end result. It's maddening. It really is.
Well, I just think back to last year on Thanksgiving break, whenever we watched Arkansas completely roll over and quit and get beat 48-14. A game like that, you can come and say, oh man, the team just quit. They just rolled over. That would almost be easier to accept for me than what we saw today, because clearly Arkansas didn't quit in this game. It's not like it was a lack of effort or a lack of want to that got Arkansas in trouble here. They just were undisciplined. They were just a team that didn't make all the plays that needed to be made down the stretch of that game. The defense ran out of gas as they've continued. I mean, it's kind of been a consistent theme this year. Once you get to the fourth quarter, the guys that have been playing 65 snaps, especially when your best player, which, by the way, we should go ahead and get that out of the way now, the obligatory. We really hope Landon Jackson is okay. It seems like we got some promising reports there from Alyssa Lang, but obviously that's one that probably took the wind out of the sails. But again, it just added to another problem that this defense doesn't have a ton of depth. They're kind of a ragtag group that's trying to scrape by, and down the stretch, they just completely ran out of gas. Again, I didn't feel like Arkansas failed to show up in this game. I didn't feel like Arkansas got quote unquote out physical even necessarily. I think it was just a game where, again, Arkansas couldn't make the plays needed to win the game. The other team was the more prepared, more disciplined team, and they rose to the occasion, whereas Arkansas just couldn't find it down the stretch. And again, it would almost be easier if they just, again, got out talented or just didn't have the horses or anything like that. It's just really tough to swallow when you look over there and see a 9-3 Missouri team who you're clearly every bit as good as. And look, I know Missouri has an easier schedule, but you just look around the country and you see South Carolina beating Clemson today. You see A&M potentially going to play spoiler for tonight. Ole Miss is crushing. Missouri's it's just like you look at all these teams and you just want to be the one to have fun. And in Thanksgiving these days, we just can't have fun. We cannot enjoy our turkey weekend with Arkansas football anymore.
No, it is a guarantee that anytime there's a potential for an awesome Arkansas sports weekend, it never happens. It's not going to happen ever. Oh, Arkansas could go finally beat that idiot Drinkwitz in Columbia. Oh, wow, a Thanksgiving spotlight game for John Calipari's Razorbacks against Illinois. Nope, get your ass kicked in one of them, then lose in familiar fashion in the next one. It's a tale as old as time. And it doesn't make any damn sense, and I don't like it. I don't understand it, but there's nothing they can do about it. It's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to just feel like you're in the wilderness wandering, where you're just like, I mean, do we have to? I have never seen it being forced, as in you accept this. Like, no, you're wrong. Accept it, and it continues to just get to the point to where fans are getting fed up. And this is a bigger thing than just one single game. This is more of an entire program and an entire season. But it's just the way that you continue to find ways to lose games. And in this particular game, like, what else could they do for you? I know that Sam Pittman, and this is an obvious thing of saying, oh, if we win the turnover battle, we usually win games. Yes, that's true. That goes for everybody. But at some point in time, you got to figure out how to overcome that too. Okay. You're not always going to win the turnover battle. So what do you do to try to make up for that? I'm sorry. I just cannot buy the fact that Arkansas, the only way that they can humanly possibly win is by winning the turnover battle. And if they don't, they will 100% lose. That's a thing that you just got to figure out how to overcome it. And they can't. It's a frustrating thing. It was weird from the start when Sam Pittman was coaching up there in this little tinted box where he looked like Wilson or whatever his name is from Home Improvement. Like they kept showing him on TV constantly. Like everything was just strange about it, but it didn't matter. It's the same result. It's the same crap. You lost a turnover battle. You commit a lot of penalties. You did dumb things, and you lost to a team that you probably could have or should have won, but you just don't have the cojones. You don't have the balls to figure out how to go up there and beat a team like Missouri that you should beat. You just don't. It's terrible.
We're getting drugged right now by Mizzou fans in the comments. We can't even say anything to them. We can't even say anything to them.
That's fine.
It's just so frustrating, man.
All we can say is you are our father. You are our father, Missouri. Eli Drinkowitz is now going to be known as Big Papa. Yeah, that's what he is to the state of Arkansas, man.
No, and you know what? And it's going to keep happening because Sam Pittman's going to be your coach. So, you just got to own it. You just got to own it. You just got to keep going with it because he's going to be your coach and you're going to lose. You're going to keep losing.
And he didn't even coach today. And he still lost. So that wasn't the answer either. That wasn't the equalizer.
Yeah.
I had a very funny moment. So I was watching it with my guy, Rick Frank, Hillary's father. And we were kind of talking about how, Pittman's up in the booth. And so, the coordinators are going to be calling timeouts. And he said, what does he normally do? Like, what is his normal game day responsibility? I was like, now that's a good question. And one I don't have the answer to. And one that, I don't know. So I don't know how different it was. But I think it kind of speaks volumes that Arkansas's head coach being up in the press box rather than on the field. We haven't even talked about that being a factor in the game because I don't think any of us believe it was because we don't think it would have been any different because it's not like he's necessarily the big strategist or motivator down on the sideline. We all agree that of all the reasons Arkansas lost today, Pittman being in the booth wasn't one of them. Yeah.
I mean, aside from this being uncompetitive as a series, it is a rivalry. I mean, that's as chippy of a game as we've seen all year. And again, like that just makes the loss sting even more because you just continue to do this. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like there's no point in talking about the game itself almost, you know what I mean? Like there's no point in talking about, missed throws or even the fumbles or anything. It's just because the result is really all that matters. It's a results oriented business. And they continue to find ways to lose these games. What's Pittman's, what's his one score record now? Who knows? Who cares?
Crap is what it is. It's crap. It's terrible. And it will continue to be terrible because, again, it goes back to what does this matter? What difference does it make? Like in this offseason, you're going to go to some crap bowl game. Folks, don't go to the dadgum bowl game. Please stop going to this. Stop going and seeing this crap. Like, don't go to Memphis. Don't go to Birmingham. Don't act like you're happy. Don't act like you enjoy it. Just this is just the microcosm of Razorback football where it's current state, and you're just going to have to deal with it. But doesn't mean you have to spend your hard-earned money going somewhere that you don't want to go anyways. Just
half the team might not go to the bowl game.
Good.
So we got to look for that coming up.
Turn down
here.
the bowl game. Yeah. Turn it down. Be like the NIT back in the day when Arkansas was too tired. You're too tired. Turn down the bowl game. But even though we've been told a bowl game means so much to these players, who cares about going to Birmingham? Who cares about going to Memphis? All that anyone cares about is the direction of your program. And where's the direction? It's just there. It exists. It's nothing special. It doesn't do anything right. Doesn't necessarily do anything terribly wrong. It's just there. And it's floating into the wilderness by itself. Nobody knows what to do with it.
Good.
It's just disgusting.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, because it's not going down. It's surely not going up. You're right. It is purgatory known as mediocrity.
Well, look, I think this is a good time now, since because I've been watching a lot of college football this weekend, so just kind of surveying the country and kind of getting the state of the union here. Obviously, the UCF job now came available today because our boy Gus is going to go be the OC under Mike Norvell, another great Arkansan. And so you look at it, North Carolina and UCF are the open jobs. Are there, how many do we know for sure are going to be open? I'm not sure there's that many. I look around the SEC. I know Auburn fell to 5-7 or is about to fall to 5-7. But I don't think they're firing Hugh. Kentucky damn sure ain't firing Stoops. I don't think, obviously Shane Beamer, who started the year on the hot list, he damn sure ain't getting fired. I think Arkansas is going to really, what they're going to do is wait until next offseason when a lot of those jobs I just listed off might actually be available. That might be the time when all these dudes fire their coach. Oklahoma, we'll see how they fare tonight. That's another one that might be open next offseason that will not be open this offseason. I know that Arkansas fans, we've kind of been told, like you said, John, we just have to accept that Arkansas is not making a change of their football program. And like, that's all fine and dandy, but can someone tell us why? Why right now is not a very good time to make a big picture change?
Yeah. That's what I'm wanting. Just
I'll
give
hear
me a
out the argument.
statement.
I really will.
Brandon Marcello has been telling you for the longest, whether you agree with it or not, that's the message. Like that's their reasoning.
Yeah, and I don't disagree, but I want to hear it. I want Juracek to actually grow some balls and come out and say something about this. Give somebody of authority, somebody in the program needs to come out and give a rundown. I don't care if it's a statement or what. Tell everyone, I feel like it's in Star Wars, tell us we have a plan, that there's hope, that there's a direction to go, and why. Don't just be like, well, we went from 4-8 to 6-6 this year, and we're excited about being bowl eligible again. It's like, okay, that's fine. Moving forward, next season, what is it? Do you have more NIL money? Apparently not. Oh, but we got more when we combine it with the revenue sharing. You mean the same thing that everybody else is getting? You mean that? So you're not getting any more money. You're not getting into the portal and knocking it out of the park. Where is the hope? It's nowhere to be found. And everyone wants to remain silent on this. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Can't wait to see what Juracek or whoever, if Juracek's even here, who ends up coming out with a statement of like, this is why things are going well. And I can't wait to see it ratio to the oblivion, because that's exactly what it deserves.
Well, let's ask Hog Nation. Are y'all excited for year 2 of Taylon Green? Who, by the way, Taylon Green really wasn't even that bad today. I thought he made a few nice plays, but the fan base really hates him as well. So it's like, if that's going to be your thing, is in year 2 of Bobby, year 2 of Taylon, despite the fact that they're losing Jaquinton Jackson and Andrew Armstrong, who were responsible for like all of their offensive success today. I'm willing to hear out the argument. I just want to know what it is, because I really don't know like what the mind frame is. I don't know. I mean, you mentioned Marcello. They were getting in front of it. They know this is a disaster. They were getting in front of it by already getting the seeds planted of, hey, this Louisiana Texas game is going to be tougher than people realize. And, it's really hard to go 6-6 in the SEC. Like, I don't know, man. I really do just want to hear, like, I want to see some bullet points, like what the case is for just running it back next year and hoping that year 5 to year 6 is when the program takes a jump.
Yeah. And I do want to take a momentary break from the crash out on this on this show here, just to point out that the frustrations here are about the leadership and the program big picture. They ain't got nothing to do with the players, man.
No, I
want to see the players succeed. I want them to, but they're not in a position to do that right now at a high level, and that's frustrating. So it starts at the top, man. That's where the frustration is. That's where it is for the fan base. That's where it is for the people covering the team. That's what we're dealing with here.
And like you said, Curtis, there was plenty of chippiness. I really liked that. I appreciated that, actually, that it seemed like the players did want to win. There was a little bit of some pride there that seeped in. And again, I don't think the players are like the issue here. I mean, obviously, Arkansas, you can always have more talent on your roster, but I don't think it's a situation where you've got just a bunch of entitled brats that don't care and blah, blah, blah. Like all those things that people like to say. I don't really think that's the issue here. I just think it's a team that week to week does not put themselves in the best position to win. Is there a game this year? We're now through 12 games, the entire regular season. Was there a week this season, any of them, where you were like, Arkansas really put themselves in a good position to win that game? There were games that they won despite some stupid mistakes and despite some self-inflicted wounds, but I don't know if there was a single game this year outside of UAPB where you could really make an argument that Arkansas gave themselves the best chance to win.
Well, also, Sam Pittman just did, I guess he's doing his press conference right now. He did say that Landon Jackson's back in the locker room being released from the hospital. So good. There's some good news there. But if there's any more updates, we'll be sure to pass those along to all of you from Sam Pittman and all of that. So anyways, yeah, it's a frustrating thing. And it just seems like the fans overwhelmingly are just in a loss of everything. They're just in the fact that you lost in basketball. And I know it's not as big of a deal, but you lost in women's basketball. You lost to, who is it? I don't even know. Somebody, Gardner Webb.
Bowling Green,
whoever. Yeah. Doesn't matter. You lost that, and then you lost to football. So, I mean, you're rolling, folks. You are really rolling. That's something there. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to really think about. But it's just a matter of, what does the future hold now, and what direction does it go right now?
There's nothing to say that hasn't been said, and there's nothing to say that's going to change anything. That's why it puts people like us in a tough spot, when we got to talk about it every day. And it's like, I mean, we can just keep running this back on repeat, but does it mean anything? Not really. We're just getting it off our chest. That's what people are doing in the chat. That's all we can do right now. Just get it out.
Yep. Just vent.
Would y'all like to hear from the beautiful chat here with the great folks of Arkansas have to say?
Yeah, let's get to the chat because I'm done.
Our boy Caden Jowers says Arkansas just fumbled the ball again as we speak. Wow, that is big news. Appreciate that report, Caden. Arkansas is at 27 fumbles on the year. Do I have that number right? Which I believe leads the entire country. And I think if Arkansas, if either of the two fumbles they lost today didn't happen, might have had a chance there.
I have a Sam Pittman quote.
Let's hear it.
It's very frustrating. We work ball security every week and put emphasis on it, especially when we knew today with the weather what it was. Whoever turned the ball over less is going to win.
I don't know what we're supposed to do with this. Like, I mean, obviously I appreciate you said it, but I don't know what we're supposed to do with that information. Like, why is he telling us that? Like, oh yeah, we really worked on it.
Well, they probably said, Sam, you lost the turnover battle again, and you lead the country in fumbles. What's up with that? And then all he could say was, well, we work on it, but it doesn't translate, or what we're doing is not working.
All that tells us that you're not doing that whatever you're doing is not working. Like, I don't know. That feels like incriminating evidence, if you ask me.
I mean, it's game 12. It's game 12.
We've been doing the turnover battle bit for freaking 10 weeks. Well, I still think we're a good team and we don't turn the ball over. Well, the season's over. The 12, we have played the entire schedule, bruv. There ain't no, if we just clean this up, we'll be all right. It's this, and I get it. He's just answering the question that he's asked and all that. I'm really just upset because our guy Lee can't even do his usual bit. He says, no dig jokes on that, boys. HY got to do the right thing here, man. Do not prolong the inevitable. It's a sad day when we can't even count on Lee to come through with an innuendo.
Yeah, that's when things are rough. They're really rough when that's happening. But like, it's everybody. I see somebody was mentioning about the schedule and the road schedule next year and everything. And yeah, I know. And then that, like, Oklahoma State loss, guys, that's the worst. I mean, that team sucks so bad. And the fact that Arkansas lost to that team, like, makes it even worse. Sheesh.
Yeah, I mean, they lost 52-0, which again, like, look, all of these losses, it's not like this one particular game is like that egregious, or, the Ole Miss game, that by itself is that egregious, or the LSU, whatever. But when you just add it up, it's really hard. And again, what were we told? Because we all, the three of us, I would say, we effectively crashed out after that Oklahoma State game. And what were we told? Well, that's a good Oklahoma State team. I mean, you're on the road against a top 20 team. What are you going to do? Turns out they actually are one of the worst teams in the entire freaking country. And frankly, we should have been more pissed. So again, it's like, I mean, I guess we'll just, if people always move the goalposts and they think when you think of the goalposts, you think of it moving back. This Arkansas fan base sometimes like to move the goalpost up, or they're like trying to change it and being like, well, it's really not that bad. I don't know, man. I know 6-6 in itself is not horrible, but it's just the way it went down. It's just really hard to inspire confidence, man. They're all aging worse. The LSU loss looks worse than it did. The Ole Miss loss looks way worse than it did a few weeks ago. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Nothing's aging. I did see another quote from Pittman saying that on him being up in the booth for this game and handling of timeouts, he said Bobby had the timeouts when we were on offense, T-Will when we were on defense, and Scott on special teams. So I guess Pittman was just hanging up there, man, just chilling. He also said things that can't happen. It's something that on penalties. He says it's some things that can't happen. It's something that you can't happen and did happen, and it hurts you. As long as that's a rule in college football, we have to stay in there without flinching. So,
yeah.
Missouri tried to help him out a few times with some personal fouls.
I mean, they were doing
Slaughter. Effectively got the little shove that forced a reaction that really got the penalty. Yeah, Missouri tried to help him out a few different times
because they were like driving down to score before the end of the half, and then they were going to do the thing where they got the ball to start the second half, and they got in Burden's head. And he threw the punch there, or the slap, or whatever it was. And then he dropped the first down catch, which was funny, but he got the last laugh. So he got the 2-point conversion, right? Didn't do a damn thing the whole game. and then he got the one conversion on the drive, and then is he the one that caught the 2-point conversion? I think he was.
I think he was. Yes.
Yeah,
He definitely was.
yeah. He had he only got targeted twice the entire game. Targeted.
He dropped one of them
because Brady couldn't throw it past the line of scrimmage until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like
he throws one pass at the line of scrimmage that Theo Weiss takes for 70 yards after just not being able to move his arm the whole game. And then right after that pass, he automatically had more passing yards than Taylon Green for the game, who completed 11 in a row at one point. It just doesn't make any damn sense, dude.
About every fifth play, Missouri would do that little tight end dump off that would get him like 20 every single time. But how about this from Ghislaine Maxwell? He says Pittman will come out and say we were out physicaled.
He shouldn't.
That's what's funny. I don't think Arkansas was out physicaled necessarily in this game. I thought there were a few times where Arkansas matched the physicality pretty well. Arkansas's offensive line, I felt like, fought hard throughout the game. We're kind of creating those lanes. Jaquinton Jackson, by the way, when we talk about physical, I thought this was one of his better games of the entire season, outside of the one backbreaking fumble that may have cost him the entire game. Why do they keep doing the thing with Rashad Dubinion, who, by the way, exited this game with an injury, where like they start Rashad Dubinion and they're like, oh, Jaquinton Jackson's available if needed. And then he like rattles off 20 carries off the bench. Like last week, they were like, oh, he's available if needed. And they needed him and he looked great. If Rashad Dubinion hadn't gotten hurt, would they have just like not played Jaquinton?
It's hard to say, but they do it for the same reason that they list Braylon Russell as questionable after saying he's healthy as a horse. And you know what I mean? Like there's no rhyme or reason to any of this. But yeah, that was and then they're calling the broadcast is calling Jaquinton Jackson a situational back later on in the game. It's like, no, he should just be the guy who touches the football every play against Missouri. But then for whatever reason, after they're just dominating at the line of scrimmage and it looks like they could just go score with the rush anytime they want to, then they just randomly go away from it. And you got Taylon Green out there throwing, and he's throwing, 6 yards behind Andrew Armstrong on a 3-yard cross. Like, I don't know.
That play right there, Curtis, it was 3rd and 4, and Arkansas's at like the 45, 46 or whatever of Missouri. You mentioned it right there. That was Taylon's worst play of the game, I thought.
Yeah, he did good things.
Just go get it. I felt like if Arkansas had run the ball and gotten 2-3 yards, they probably go for it there. You keep the ball. You kind of keep chugging away, keep kind of plugging at them. Because I felt like Arkansas actually did wear down that Missouri defensive front at times. Like they were kind of starting to open up those holes. Jaquinton got better and better throughout the game. They abandoned the run then, and which, again, hard to even knock the play call because if Taylon makes the throw, it's a 20-yard gain and you're off and running. But God, it's just so frustrating to see like these little things continue to add up, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's how it's been all season long. It's like you've been good enough and talented enough to win games, and you just haven't. Like you just do things against yourself. But seeing like those things, like Arkansas being above average when it comes to penalties per game in the SEC, the worst team that fumbles, like by far, turning the ball over is terrible. They don't cause turnovers, which is terrible. Like you have all these things to where it's like the talent is there. If you just didn't do those dumb things, you'd probably be a decent football team. And those are the things that should be coachable, that should be little things that, you could fix as a player and as a program. And you're just not, and you haven't. And I think that's what makes it just as frustrating as anything is it's not the players. It's not like you're just lacking. There's this huge talent discrepancy in every game. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with you just being bad at the little things, at the things that go a long way and pile up and compile. And you're that way each and every game. It's extremely frustrating.
And it goes back to the can't have nice things bit, Yep. Snow game. That was awesome, man.
That's fun.
I mean, it's really cool. Not many people get to experience that. Certainly SEC teams, and just weren't able to do anything with it. And what sucks about it is it's just another one added to the list of every freaking highlight. Anytime there's snow for the rest of the season, there's going to be clips of this game and Arkansas losing. Every time Arkansas and Missouri play now, and it's cold out, or it might be 80 degrees in Fayetteville next November. Like, remember when? There's our Remember Wednesday. Remember when Arkansas had a cool snow game and they freaking lost again?
Do you remember when early in the week we were like, which team is it going to favor? Which we admittedly said in the moment, it was a stupid thing. but clearly not Arkansas. Clearly, you can't count on these unexpected variables to go Arkansas's way. And I was thinking about it during the
favor them.
right. But that's what's frustrating me. You know, we talked earlier. You know, it's one thing to get out athleted by Texas or Texas A&M or LSU, Ole Miss, whatever. You're in a snow game against Missouri, who, by all intents and purposes, you should have somewhat equal talent to, although you can make a case Missouri's more talented. But it's just a war of attrition. It's just a battle of toughness, a battle of physicality. And again, I'm not saying Arkansas wasn't physical in this game. They were. But it's like, you would think this is the type of game that you want. This is your chance to really make a statement and win in Como. And again, just not good enough. Just not good enough. Like, that's just all it comes down to.
Yep. And you just continue to show that just over and over and over again. It's like beating a dead horse. It's just, I don't really know what to think or to go or to have it. I feel bad for some of the guys. Like Andrew Armstrong's such an incredible player. You know, like that, they do making some catches.
He didn't have to come back either.
No,
you know?
no. Him saying same thing with Landon Jackson. Didn't have to come back, but I mean they did, and it's just like, you know, is this team better than what they were a year ago? Of course they are.
Yeah,
but 2 games better. I mean that's really it. You're 2 games better, and that's a reality now. That's not like, oh, what you think or what you believe, but yeah, it's improvement. It just doesn't feel like, man, it has no feeling that it's just gonna continue to get better next year.
Suck, man. Had to have a you know, a top level draft pick on the defensive line, and you know, he's not going to get to see anything from it here. You have the best receiver in the SEC, and he's not going to be able to shine the way that he should because of some of these things. Just, it's irritating.
You're 2 games better than the team that openly quit last year, 48-14 in this same spot. And again, how often is Arkansas? I mean, I know they're not the only fan base that does that, but how often do we do that as an Arkansas observer, where we say, well, they're not as bad as they were under Chad Morris. Well, they're not as bad as one of the worst teams in program history last year. You know what I mean? Like, those things can be true. So what do you want us to do with that? You know, like, I don't know. I like this comment here from Nathan. He says, in the last 3 seasons, Vanderbilt and South Carolina have improved greatly. While our program has sunk below mediocrity, it's time to let them go. God forbid the board or HY actually hire a well-respected younger head coach, possibly someone under 45 years of age. Our fan base and supporters deserve better. Again, like, it's hard not to just watch college football all weekend and just look around the country and wish that you were involved in some of those conversations, and you're just not.
Yep. You're not a part of it. You're just one of the means to having other teams be a part of it. I mean, that's reality. Because what now is it that they're 2-4 in their final 6 games this season, and in the second half of the season, 2-4.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
Louisiana Tech and Mississippi State, like two terrible
big wins.
Yep. And the rest of the games were at home, pretty much, and you couldn't win any of those.
Shout out to the Missouri fans that are trolling. They say, always loved seeing John Nabors in shambles. Get that warm, fuzzy feeling every Thanksgiving. Well,
can't say anything.
You're gonna enjoy this for a long time. I would love for Turkey weekend to not be ruined, but it is ruined all the time.
I just want him to beat Drink, man.
Yeah,
but at least it was so cold that seems like he wasn't, you know, on his A game with the trolling, the villain bit. So.
Now, he didn't have a ton to say when they interviewed him. I guess it was like right before the 4th quarter. And he was just like, yeah, got to finish it out. Like, he didn't have a ton to say. Didn't troll us too bad. I'm sure he said something in the post-game press conference that is going to piss us off. Some more thoughts from the great Missouri fan base. They say, this was our worst game of the year and still beat little old Arkansas. Y'all stuck with the Jerry Jones mentality that you're so much better than you really are. I don't think there are any misconceptions here that we think
anybody's being unreasonable.
Yeah, no, I think we are very aware of how underachieving and how average this program is.
I think in general, people understand that this is just kind of a very mediocre product, and they don't want to settle for that anymore. So yeah, I don't agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if this was Missouri's worst game of the year or not. It was probably some of those ass kickings they took in their losses, but you know, credit to Drink because he wins all of his 1-score games. Well, he had like the longest 1-score winning streak in the country until they lost to South Carolina. And then he got this one done. And then Arkansas just tends to lose a vast majority of those games. Who has the better coach? I mean, it just is what it is.
Guys, I have very important news to break. Mark, y'all familiar with our boy Mark from the post-game chats?
I'm glad you're pulling
He has
this up.
turned his back on Sam Pittman. He says, I've tried all season to remain positive, but all these tosses because of turnovers is frustrating. I think Sam's a solid guy, but he will retire or be fired after next season. So even in his come to terms with the reality, he's like, well, next year, like, give him one more year. Which, I mean, hey, I guess that's as good as these fans can hope for, I guess.
Hang in there, Mark. I'd like to tell you it'll all be okay and it'll get better. I don't know, but just hang in there.
Do y'all agree with Ryan's assessment that it is stupid to be mad because you lose the turnover battle and lose the game?
I don't understand the question.
I don't understand it either.
Statement.
I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Is it stupid to be mad about losing the game because of turnovers?
I guess he's referring to my comment when I was saying that if you got to find ways to overcome that. If you're a team that is turning the ball over at a very high rate, then you have to find ways to overcome it. And so the fact is that you turned it over and you still had chances to win, but you still couldn't do it. That was the point I was making.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, didn't get any takeaways.
Again,
It didn't take advantage of the times that they kind of pissed down their leg, with bad penalties and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, you have to. It's like Arkansas basketball, like if you give up 15 threes and you got a 30-point differential at the 3-point line, you got to find other ways to overcome that. If that's going to be the case, like, not shooting 59% from the free throw line or generating some turnovers or whatever. Like if you're going to suck in one area of the game and it's just been a consistent thing all year, that's what you got to do. And we've said it, they're not a good, or they haven't been a good takeaways team, Arkansas. And even the numbers that they do have are misleading because, like 80% of them came in 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought this comment was interesting. I guess one of y'all started this one. You guys obsessively read Twitter as your gauge of the fan base. Do y'all feel like that's an accurate assessment?
I mean, I'm on here every day with the fan base telling us how they feel.
We don't read Twitter. We read the comments on YouTube. That's where we gauge the fan base. But yeah, man, that's what we do, I guess. I mean, I would love to find another way to gauge the fan base. I guess we are misreading it. Do you think fans are like thrilled right now?
Well, that's the thing is I got when I went on my Twitter thread yesterday that apparently got a lot of traction. People were saying that to me again, and I'm like, this is not something that I'm putting inside of a microscope. It's just on Twitter because Twitter is not real life. I talk to a lot of different fans. We do this on our live stream every day. Talk to people that I know, people whether they're boosters, people whether they're donors, people whether they're just casual fans or whatever, and do it in person. And I get text messages from them and everything. It's not just Twitter. This is a bigger thing than just people who are mad on Twitter. Like the fan base is not great right now, and they're not a great space right now. And that's what it's basing it on. It has nothing to do with just, let's just take whatever Twitter's doing. This is everybody. This is a very strong opinion that a lot of Razorback fans had, regardless of the platform that they're sharing it on.
We're past the point of the vocal minority thing. I think we can all agree with that.
Well, and look, I get, if there's a case to be made, because I've kind of seen some of this where it's like, oh, it's all negative on social media and on YouTube, but it's really in real life, Hog fans are just thrilled. I want to hear from those Hog fans. Are y'all thrilled? Because if y'all are, like, that's fine. Like, you're more, you ultimately set the standard for your own program. Like, I would love to hear from those fans that like just maybe aren't commenting negative, but secretly are super happy. If Arkansas fans are happy, then okay. I mean, that's probably why they're going to run it back with Pittman. So I guess those guys are right, but that doesn't mean that we have to align with those fans that are thrilled about this, Yeah.
Yeah. That's I guess what I think most people are really frustrated by is just the lack of, the enthusiasm of everything involved, but also the people who are supposedly happy or fine or the way it's going, like they just don't exist. They're not there. I haven't talked to anybody that's just like, no, be positive. No, this is one. And even if they do have some positive vibes, if you ask them why, they can't provide really a straight answer to it. So that's the problem, is just nobody has it right now.
But the good news is we do have some super chats coming in. One of which comes from Fishman. He says, y'all's next what if show should be, what if Singleton started and Arkansas wasn't irrelevant this year? What would have been? Yeah, I guess we could do that. I don't know. I mean, do y'all think Malachi Singleton would have turned this game around for Arkansas?
No. I mean, it would probably been similar.
Yeah,
I would guess.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would just assume that it would be for sure better.
I'm not anti Malachi Singleton.
Yeah.
but I don't.
I mean, I
yeah, I
guess the
don't.
one argument
this
you
wasn't
you
the
could
game
make
for
is
it.
he wouldn't have fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so. That
Yeah,
was
I
a
guess.
bad fumble.
I'm sure the redshirt freshman that's never played in big games, I'm sure he would have just risen to the occasion and been, awesome, awesome in this game. But yeah, I don't know. It is weird. We always joked about how the fan base took Hudson Clark, the most like normal and average player, and turned him into a polarizing figure. They've done that with Taylor Green, who has been the exact same player for his entire college career, which is just he's okay, and he's somehow become like the most polarizing player of all time. But Hayden Ulmer, he wants us to tell him good things about basketball and baseball, please. Curtis, you got some good news to share for basketball?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Baseball, I can tell you a lot of good things. I do feel like Arkansas's got a good chance to. They're going to be good this year. Spoiler alert. But
hopefully they make it out of a home regional this year.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publicly hereby guarantee Arkansas will not get bounced in their own regional this year. That is not me saying they won't get bounced in another regional. That is not me saying they won't get bounced in the supers. They will not get bounced in their own regional as a national seed.
Have you downgraded from what you said at Stillwater to those nice fans at Eskimo Joe's?
No, it's still natty or bust, John. That's where my program is at. That's the expectations that my program has. We don't accept this mediocrity. In fact, we're trying to fire our coach just because we lost a couple home games to SEMO. Now they want to fire. So that's the kind of expectations that my program is dealing with over on the Diamond.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you have that because it's just like it's just been so long. That's another thing too. It just the last good feeling Razorback fans have had, I think, is when they beat Kansas to go to the Sweet 16. I think that was the last like legitimate statement game win feeling.
Hey, come on, they beat Duke.
Yeah, well, but it's about the result that ended up from it. It's like same thing. Hey, they beat Tennessee this year. Well, the result from it though, it's like still went 6-6. Beat a top 5 team at home, and he went 6-6. Just
we're shaming wins that get you the Liberty Bowl now. That's what we're doing. We're shaming wins that send you to Memphis. That's what we're doing. I like this comment
Birmingham
from Great Googly Moogly. Razorbacks ate yellow snow.
How about Mizzou fans throwing snowballs at the dudes?
Oh
on
my
the
God, dude!
sideline?
Let's talk about that. I actually got to be honest. That's freaking hilarious. I've never seen that happen before. I'm sure it has. I've never seen that happen. That's hilarious. And the fact that they had to like call them out on the press box, like from the PA, they had to be like, "Oh, hey,
the state troopers were over there."
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny, and like I thought it was quite kind of clever, to be honest. Hopefully, they stop doing it.
Yeah, in most cases that's kind of harmless. Like you don't do that. Like don't throw anything at players ever. And or if you do, like don't get mad if they drag you out of the stands and beat the hell out of you or something. But yeah, I was just kind of
By the way, Eli Drinkwitz had this to say about Arkansas on the Battle Line Rivalry. He says, "There's a lot of people that don't like me in that state for whatever reason I don't understand, but that's good." So I was like, okay.
I mean, I'd be happy to help him understand the reason, but I think he knows.
Yeah, he does know. He absolutely knows.
Yeah. Curtis, what do you think of this comment? It says, good news for basketball. The 2 top ball hog guards, inefficient guards in high school are committed to the U of A.
Well, Boss Hog, I'm glad you said that because that's why I did not bring up the number 1 center in the 2025 class who's visiting tomorrow because I knew it would just be people bitching about it.
I mean, that's all. Happy with 5 stars these days.
That's all it's become, man. It's just all it is. Just bitching, no matter what. It's terrible.
We need something good to happen,
dude. I'm telling you. Like, how about this? Blood Diamond Entertainment says 424 people in here. Hit the damn like button. Yes, thank you for the chat, and yes, hit the like button. We appreciate it. But yeah, need something, man. Something to hit. Miami, the basketball team lost to Charleston Southern today, who Arkansas plays on Tuesday. So
those dudes are on the struggle bus, man. Their best player is going to be out. I'm sure it'll go exactly according to script on Tuesday.
It's like we just keep getting just punched in the face as many times as possible.
I mean, I've been really just on top of my game with just daily basketball content every single day since August. they lose that game to Miami Tuesday, I don't know what I'm going to say for the rest of the week, bro. I don't know. Oh man,
Goodness.
they're going to win that game.
They'll definitely win.
You say Arkansas baseball is not going to get bounced out of their home regional. I'm saying Arkansas basketball is not losing to Miami on Tuesday.
Big
and then
road
what
win.
happens?
Hey, we don't complain about road wins around here, no matter how you get them. Any win
Never.
away from home is a precious win.
They're doing a whiteout for the Razorbacks. Will they storm the court if they beat Coach Cal?
Shout out to Army. I love Army. I really do. But I also I would say like 30% of the things I see Army say, I just don't know what they mean. And I just kind of smile and nod with him. But he says, I had more ball control in my youth than Tane Overgreen / Dirk Diggler.
Dirk Diggler.
Y'all
From
know who
Boogie
Dirk
Nights?
Diggler is?
I do know who Dirk Diggler is. Boogie
Dirk
Nights,
Diggler.
man.
Yeah, it's a Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg, yeah, from Boogie Nights.
That's a throwback. Which makes sense coming from
Oh,
nobody.
yeah. Army speaks in throwbacks, so that makes sense.
Golly.
Man.
These are the kind of chats I like. Shout out to Porter Hutchinson, who is just giving money. Doesn't even have anything to say. Doesn't even want to get anything off his chest other than
Thank
$5.
Yes.
And we appreciate that. We really do.
Yeah, thank you. See, he's got some dead ducks in there. I missed out on duck gumbo this year to watch this crap, so I'm glad I did.
Witty, I got to correct you, although we appreciate your $5. Broden did play. That one play where Andrew Armstrong went out for a second, Broden replaced him for one play on the field. I think it was a run play. But yeah, I saw him catching a stray earlier in the chat where people were like, "Oh, Broden can't catch the ball, and Satania can't catch the ball." I'm like, "Hey, come on, Broden didn't do anything bad in this game." But we appreciate your support and your enthusiasm nonetheless.
Did we thank you, Zelina, by the way.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Zelina C.
Did we get to the big dog? Did we ever get there? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we did. Yeah, I
sure?
put it. Yeah, I didn't read it. I just put it up while we were talking.
Well, Michelle texts me every 10 minutes when we do these things. Is like, oh, you haven't read this super chat. You haven't read that super chat. You didn't do this one. You didn't do that one. And turns out she was wrong again. So,
well, yeah, sometimes I just want to if they don't need to be read necessarily, like when we're having good convo, but I want to get them up there so people can see.
There you go. Well, you got double publicity for your contributions. Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
My wife for making me look like an idiot.
He's the goat of post game streams.
Yes, he is. He is. He's a very much appreciated. I like this one just from David. He just says appropriate for $6.66. So, yep. Is that Satan, the devil?
I think it's because Arkansas went 6-6. I thought Satan at first too, but I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant 6-6.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's satanic. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah. Caden also says Pittman just signed a lifetime contract. Is this good? No, he didn't.
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Apparently, we are the ones that are making up these negative narratives.
Yeah. It's the media. It's the media's fault. And then, Porter said, I meant to say, can't wait to see Has enter the portal and be replaced by a D2 transfer. Sheesh. Oh, I mean, I don't want to say one way or the other, but I get you. Yeah, I feel you. And then Whitty says, my in-law won Duck Gumbo Championship this year. Thanks. Well, good. Congrats, Whitty. Congrats to your in-law.
Not all bad. See, guys, there's more to life than football. There's more to life than football. And even sometimes when the basketball team, doesn't show up on Thanksgiving, there's more to life than basketball too. Although that will change whenever they beat Miami and get a precious road win. But it's not all bad. The sun will still come up tomorrow, I think.
I have another Eli Drinkwitz update.
Yeah, okay. What's up?
Quote, there's a better part of 2 hours of sports radio getting after me because I mispronounced the quarterback's name. Like I told Talon Green, that was me being genuine. I literally didn't mean anything. He's a heck of a player. He's a great player, great quarterback, and by no means was I being disrespectful to him.
Okay, Eli. Okay.
Thanks for clearing that up, buddy.
Okay,
well, we said on the show the other day, we said dumb or disrespectful. He chose dumb. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And because he's listen, God doesn't like liars, Eli. And so like that, the fact that there's better part of 2 hours of sports radio, not that he's paying attention to those things. Sheesh. But yeah.
I wasn't being disrespectful. I just cannot read.
Yeah. Those whenever a Y is put into a name, I just skip over it. It doesn't exist. Whenever a Y is just thrown in there, throws me off completely. So Landon Shaver just Thanks, Landon, for the super chat.
Appreciate you.
We've had a couple of these now where they'll put in nothing and then they'll follow back with a real comment.
Yeah.
Anytime we can trick them into the 2 payments, that's always good.
Well, Zelenia says Gus once said Rhett would eventually be the head coach at Arkansas. What are the chances he would take it, especially given his current situation? 0 right now.
Not
right
this year,
now.
I don't think.
Yeah. Eventually, I could see it, but right now, no. He is staying at SMU, and Arkansas is keeping Sam Pittman.
I think if Rhett Lashley had a burning desire to be the Razorback head coach, we would have caught wind of it by now, or at least like heard it like rumored, or like really we've just seen like Twitter accounts begging for it. I haven't heard like any buzz regarding that. I mean, he just signed a fat extension, so I would love to live in that world, but I unfortunately do not think we do.
Yeah. Shout out to Midstop, says rent free. Buddy, we are paying you rent to live in our heads. That's where we're at right now.
Also, rent free doesn't apply when it's a post game show of a game. It's like they just played a game. Like we were going to do a post game show regardless. It's like rent free. It's like we just played you guys in a football game, so we're going to. It's like it's not like we're just doing a random Missouri live stream.
It's also not like he's wrong. I mean, he's 100% right.
Well, I mean, listen, there's no doubt that Missouri is daddy. There's no doubt about that. But I just didn't like the rent free. I think we're paying rent.
Definitely that.
And then Tercero says, donate a small piece of my Missouri money line winnings. We all knew it was coming.
Yeah,
true.
Hey, shout out to the under, which got in question there down the stretch, 51.5 in a snow game. I thought that was the easiest bet of all time. Turned out to be a correct bet, but not the easiest of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I just need Texas A&M to win tonight. That's what I need. Hopefully that happens.
Your 4-legger?
Give me that for the sheer chaos.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I don't think Texas has played anybody. And I think it's in College Station. They want this bad. I don't know. I feel like that's going to happen.
They played Arkansas, John. What are you talking about? They haven't played anybody.
Yeah.
By 10.
6 and 16. Yeah. And that was a big win for him. Gold says, if Sam gets fired / retires, who would you want coaching Arkansas?
I'll let you know when I know who's available this time next year.
Yeah. Of course, I don't know. If they go 6 and 6 again, you guys should just be happy with it and just own it and, be fine. It's great.
There are a ton of good candidates out there, but
give me Dan Mullen. That's my guy. I want Dan Mullen.
Hey, Dan Mullen was on the UCF hot board.
Nah, he ain't going to UCF. He's a hog.
Dan Mullen,
you are a Razorback officially.
Dan Mullen, Scott Frost, Travis Williams,
Scott Frost.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen seems like the exact level of coach that Arkansas should be all in on.
Well, I feel like if Dan Mullen's going to return, it's probably going to be. I think it's going to be like some non-SEC job. It's going to be like some easy. Maybe the UCF would be it, but I don't know. I feel like if FAU came calling, Boca Raton, I could see him jumping ship over there.
Maybe he can get another year of eligibility for KJ at UCF. Dan Mullen and KJ in a Dan Mullen offense. Y'all want to see it?
He might be able to have another year. The fact that he's still not playing at all this season. I don't know. He doesn't have another year, does he?
I can't imagine so. I mean, he was a 2019 recruit.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way that would happen. I was trying to get through some of these chats, but some of them were just like a cesspool. Trying to navigate through them.
Yeah, we're at the only super chat section of the show.
Yeah, because it's all we can see through is just some of the nonsense that y'all are throwing into it, and everything. But Darren comes in. He says, just as I begin to become belligerent about our football program, come to the realization that we have averaged 6.7 wins per year since 1980. This is not a concession, but the issue is chronic. So
yeah.
Problem is, though, I'm not trying to make too much of a big deal out of it, but if you look at the losses, it's a little bit different because that was back when you'd only play 11 games too, for a big part of that. So yeah. Like this one also from or not that one. Great Googly Moogly says, I'm starting a GoFundMe for Arkansas NIL. I don't know if that's how it works, but knock yourself out.
According to Hunter Yurchek, it's going to depend on you guys. So you guys better strap up and get your cash out, or else this team's going to stink again next year.
What do you think they're going to use the $500,000 Slobberhog money on? that they raised?
Nothing good. Like not like I
they
mean,
used it on Malik Thomas.
like they I don't honestly don't know who they're going to use it on, but it's
Who I
probably
found
gonna,
out today we can't be excited about Malik Thomas anymore. It's tough.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
why is that? Did I miss something on that?
Just because the guy said that we Arkansas is bringing in two of the most inefficient guards in high school basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
that's a
smart
weird way
people
to
out
say
there.
Arkansas has two of the top 10 players in the entire goddamn class.
Lana says, thanks for the super chat. He says, I wish we would have won this game. I'm tired of the same crap every year. Worst in the country on fumbles. They got to fix things this offseason. I mean, yeah, they do, but it's like, well, do you have faith that they will?
How do you fix fumbling?
By telling them not to.
Ask Sam Pittman. They've been working on it, he said.
Yeah,
No, how do you fix it?
Yeah, what's the
how do you say you tried and failed?
You do it by you run the no fumbling drill, and you run that drill a lot, and that's how you keep from fumbling. Just keep running that same drill until you get it right. That's all I got. That's the only reason I know. Nobody says, "Well, you guys start a forum so my real genius will shine." No,
This is our forum.
That's it.
Yeah, no.
You can have your genius shine here.
We're just going to stick to letting you pay per comment. How about that? We like this arrangement better. But no, seriously, we appreciate your tweets. Like I get texts every week about your tweets. They're great.
Really well done.
The Last Supper, y'all like that one?
I didn't know what was going on there. I was trying to figure out which apostle he had me as, but I don't think it mattered.
I didn't look it up to see like which one I was. I hope I wasn't Judas.
I think I had Bob as Judas, to be honest.
That's wild, bro.
Of all people, it's like definitely not that. Yeah. Well, fellas, I mean, is there anything else we want to get into? Any other chats? All that? Want to get to? Actually, I want to answer this one because this is something I asked on Twitter too. He's like, how are one of you guys not at the presser? Because it's in Columbia, Missouri. And apparently they can't fit anybody else in there because it's in a storage closet. That's not a joke. They're doing the press conference in a storage closet inside of Missouri Stadium. So that's why.
Well, we've been literally doing this as soon as the game ended. We've been doing this. So you've got our alibi. It's right here.
Yeah.
Yep. You found us, caught us. So, well, guys, anything else that you want to?
No.
I know. I just had to ask.
I'm proud of the kids. And, I thought they fought hard. And, if Arkansas if you just take away like 8 turnovers throughout the year, Arkansas is a different team. That's what I'm going to bed telling myself.
Yep. I'm going to go to bed telling myself something completely different. And probably just raging on myself. That sounds
Wait a minute. SET saying that his super chat didn't get read, and I don't believe that to be true. Oh no, he's right. He said, "I love you guys, even if it doesn't seem like it most of the time. Thanks for all the fun. SCT, we appreciate you." And I saw you asking baseball questions, and I appreciate that. But due to time constraints, could not get to him. Just text me.
Well,
Kim, I'll answer your question since you addressed me. Curtis, do you think Bobby coached a good season? Decent given the circumstances, but I don't understand why they abandoned the run at one point in the second half. Season, I mean, it was better, but very inefficient. Like they got a shit ton of yards, but they couldn't score. So I had higher expectations from that standpoint than what we got. But hey, it's all about year 2.
Andrew Armstrong finished with 1 touchdown.
One touchdown.
He's not going to play in the bowl game. I just don't feel like so. The dude led the SEC in receptions and in yards and got 1 single touchdown. That's brutal. All right. Well, that does it for us. We do appreciate all of you, though. We do appreciate you guys hanging out with us and appreciate all the super chats and everything. I know it's never feels like it's under good circumstances. We try. I know y'all do too, but it's fun always chalking it up with you and talking more about it. And we're going to have wall-to-wall coverage right here at Inside Arkansas when it comes to postseason or midseason or off-season, bowl season. I don't know, whatever seasons between now and whatever. transfer portal talk. We'll also have plenty of a recruiting side of things too. So it's going to be a big week as well as basketball there. So be sure to subscribe to us on Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page. Be sure to check us out on InsideArkansas.com for all the latest and greatest up-to-date information on the Razorback football, basketball, and baseball side of things. And we'll keep it going from there. So for Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Nabors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow, sometime, Monday. I'm all awesome. We'll see you guys then.
All of the days.